This is a 2017 Harley-Davidson Dyna Low Rider S. I've borrowed it here from Tallahassee Harley-Davidson, and today I'm going to review it. So the Low Rider S has cultivated somewhat of a cult following in recent years, especially with some young riders having taken to the platform for tuning, stunting, and just overall performance-oriented builds. The Low Rider S was only produced for 2 model years, meaning this bike is a future collector's item.
The Dyna Low Rider S is the final iteration of the Dyna platform, and while many have criticized Harley for doing away with the Dyna platform, I can't think of a better way to close out a model family than with this high-performance bike. The Low Rider S is powered by a 110 cubic inch air-cooled V-twin, the largest twin-cam motor that Harley had available at the time. This power plant produces 114 foot-pound of torque at 3,500 RPM, the sweet spot on most of Harley's big twin motors. While Harley doesn't publish horsepower numbers, the Low Rider S consistently put out between 95 and 100 horsepower at the wheel in dyno testing, meaning this cruiser is no chump. That engine breathes through a Screamin' Eagle heavy breather and puts out a stunning growl from its 2-in-2 exhaust, which I'll be able to show you later on during the test ride. The original Low Rider produced by Harley-Davidson was debuted in 1977, setting the tone for Harley's factory custom approach to manufacturing their bikes. And while a lot has changed about bike building since then, the heart and soul of Harley-Davidson lives on in the Low Rider S. The Low Rider S came in just one color, black, and it came with these muted bronze wheels, a feature that most folks either love or hate. The Low Rider S has a standard 4.7 gallon fuel tank and makes about 44 miles to the gallon, meaning you can expect to fill up every 160 to 200 miles depending on your riding style. The 6-speed transmission is the same one you can find on all of Harley's big twin bikes and allows for really torquey pull-aways from the red light as well as smoothly delivered passing power on the highway. This particular unit has a beautiful brown saddleman seat, which is a great upgrade from the stock offering. True to its name, the Low Rider S's seat height stands at just 27 inches, making it one of the lowest sitting bikes that Harley had to offer in 2017. The handlebars are these aggressively positioned drag bars, which when combined with the mid-mount foot controls offer a fun and engaging riding position that keeps you on top of the action as you go. The small cowl on front that comes standard on the bike finishes off the muscular and sleek look, producing what I think is one of the best looking bikes that Harley has ever offered us. That's all there is to see about this beautiful Low Rider S. Now it's time to crank it up and head out.
So the first thing I notice is having just jumped off my street glide, the ergonomics of this bike are completely different, and that's, that definitely goes without saying, but just because it's a totally different bike, totally different platform, but I mean staggeringly different. The handlebars, you've got these drag bars that sit you really far forward. The seat height is low. Like, I'm definitely full-footed, and my right calf isn't, my jeans aren't even hitting the exhaust. My left leg does bump into the primary a little bit, but that's not really a big deal. Yeah, the pegs are, they're mid-controls, which as far as where my feet go relative to sitting on my street glide, it's really similar, but when my feet rest on my street glide, they are noticeably more forward, obviously, because you've got pretty much not all the way forward controls on a street glide, but they're set farther forward than they are on this Low Rider S. And you just feel crouched, you feel aggressive. You want to go fast on this bike, which was really the point of producing it. And it's definitely smaller. It's not a small bike. It's not diminutive in stature or riding experience really at all. But it's definitely a noticeably smaller bike than my street glide. Goes without saying, but that's just what the ergonomics of it feel like. And this seat is really comfortable, firm, and supportive, and it's got a lumbar cut on it, and that really keeps your butt feeling forward. Alright, here we go. And the vibration is more noticeable on this than my street glide. And there's already some pretty noticeable power differences. and it just feels flickable. It feels like this bike will go where you want it to go. I think this would definitely be a trouble bike for me. It was pretty much my original dream bike, because about the time that I started riding and when I bought my Super Glide, you know, I was big into watching other moto vloggers, and when I started riding, I think it's pretty much right when Blockhead bought his LowRider S, and I remember watching him and watching his videos and thinking, dang, I want that bike. And here I am, I'm on one. The clutch feels great. The front brake feels really, really good too. Both brakes, I should say. The braking feels really good, feels really, really responsive. The shift lever is not twitchy, but I don't have to move my whole leg. I don't have to put in too much effort just to get it to switch gears. And the gearing on second and third gears feels a little shorter than what I'm used to, and I can't say that it's definitely obviously a different transmission, but it is a different transmission feel. Visibility is, to be totally honest, not quite as good as on my Street Glide. I think I would definitely do a lot of adjusting of the mirrors and a lot of over-the-shoulder checks. So the stock exhaust sounds okay. Definitely that Harley factory sound would probably be one of those first things that I would replace if I wanted to make this like a project bike. To be quite honest, you know, this is, you know, the last iteration of the twin cam motor that Harley was making. It is, ooh, yeah, we're moving. It's the largest twin cam that Harley made. And, you know, they only made this bike for 2 model years. So quite honestly, this is one of those bikes you buy and then you just keep bone stock and you take care of it. I think diehard Harley collectors in the future, I think any Dyna is going to be a collectible kind of bike, but a LowRider S especially, because they only made so many of them. They only made them for a couple years, and they do sort of sit on the fringe of Harley's sort of performance-oriented building, because it's a cruiser, but it's also got, you know, a CVO motor in it. And it's really aggressive. It's really sportily designed. The closest thing that I can think of from Harley's lineup as it stands right now, if I were to walk into a Harley dealership and want to buy a bike that was similar to the Dyna LowRider S, other than the Softail LowRider S, which I'm going to do here soon, would probably be like a Livewire. I have sat on a Livewire, and they sit really aggressively. They sit, you know, you sit into the bike a little bit. It's a little more sporty. This is definitely a bike that, number one, it's super tempting to want to consider buying it just because of everything I've already said. But, yeah, it's sick looking. It's quick. It's actually really comfortable. Really different seating position than what I'm used to. And it's a very different riding experience, even from my Super Glide, to be honest. My Super Glide was sat a little bit differently. The seat was a little bit wider. I got to sit up just a little bit taller. If you're someone who loves Harleys, wants a Harley, wants that Harley sound, but you just want to feel and ride a little more aggressively, this is the bike for it. And it has cruise control, which is, I don't know how much that would get used, but the fact that it's there is a neat option. So there you have it, y'all. That's a 2017 Dyna Low Rider S. For more information about this bike or any of the bikes you see on my channel, go to TallahasseeHarley-Davidson.com. I'm the two-wheel teacher, and I'll see you all on the road.